Yeah, I just invited our Craig bot over. So he just started recording here a minute ago. Um, anybody have anything good come on for Memorial Day? Are you guys from the U.S.?
Yes, I
Yeah,
am
I'm
from
from
the
the
U.S.
States.
Yep.
Not me.
You are from, British Columbia, one of the best places in the world. But, no grilling hot dogs, I suppose, for Memorial Day.
Yeah. No. No America for me. It's all.
No America.
I mean,
Yep.
we just got Hicks. We just call it Hicks.
Well, that's right. I left America for Memorial Day, so that's, I guess, maybe a little unpatriotic. I actually took my
Yeah,
first vacation in a wee little while.
Nice. Where'd
Okay.
you go?
Jamaica.
Oh, that's sweet. I've never been. I'd
Yeah.
always like to go.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was a really good time. So there was actually I had a friend who was getting married. I was at a destination wedding, so it was fun for multiple reasons. Got to see some like family and friends that I hadn't seen in a while, and dude on the beach for a couple days. So we had a really nice time.
anyone going on trips for, in the future this year or nah?
I am going to like some place. It's just like still in Canada, but it's still like warmer than where it's in like everywhere else. But so it's gonna be like a little tiny vacation. That's gonna
Oh,
be a little bit.
nice.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
going to.
stoked.
That's great. I'm going to like
Well, Doc, do
apparently.
you want to raise your hand and Jesus can bring you up and when we do the intros and stuff like that? It's my
Oh,
co-founder, Gold Doc.
yeah, yeah. I'm going to Germany twice apparently, and like London and Singapore. So that'll be fun.
That's awesome.
There's a couple.
Yeah.
This will be the first time I travel, by myself. It'll be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I've
wish I
had
was
some
going somewhere
adventures.
fun. As everybody kind of knows, I've got 3 kids that are. Well, I used to say under 6, but just had a 6-year-old birthday yesterday, so now I've got 3 kids under 6 in one day, and so no, I would say it's not. It would not be fun to travel anywhere, and
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm gonna kind of wait for any of those destination.
Actually, the pilot on our plane said, if you are coming on vacation and you have your kids with you, you are not on vacation. You are just parenting away from
Yeah.
home.
Ain't that the truth? That is
hilarious.
God's honest truth. It is not relaxing. It's not. I mean, it's always a little fun, but it's not relaxing. It's not like, oh hell yeah, I get to go on vacation. It's like shit, especially flying. Oh, flying's the worst when you gotta keep them constrained for any certain amount of time. So we'll give everybody another minute. Like I said, they'll start trickling in here. Like I said,
We can do
they're
some
definitely
basic
known for being about
introductions if
5
you
minutes
just want
late.
to introduce ourselves or whatever.
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and why don't we definitely start that? That's kind of how we like to start the AMAs over here. Have everybody introduce themselves, kind of what they do, how they got started in crypto, um, what they do for GoldMint, and we'll just like I said, we'll just go from there, nice, light, and easy.
Cool. I can start that off if you want.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys, I'm Vu. I am the founder of GoldMint. My co-founder Gold Doc is up here as well, and a couple of our other team members, Monkey and Zeph, and I'll let them all introduce themselves. But just a real quick background on me. I've been just involved in like DeFi and crypto probably for the last 5 or 6 years. I can tell you exactly how I got into it and when I first noticed Bitcoin, and this will make sense when you learn a little bit about our protocol. But the very first day I noticed it, I had seen on one of the financial news channels that it just passed the price of an ounce of gold. It's like 5 or 6 years ago. It was trading. Gold was around $1,300 an ounce, and Bitcoin had just passed $1,300. And I was like, "Wow, that's crazy!" That thing's worth more than an ounce of gold. At that time, I was trading gold. I wish getting back that I had been buying a little bit of Bitcoin at that time, but that was kind of when it caught my eye, and I started paying attention and reading up on Bitcoin, and then learned about Ethereum, DApps, and this was just at the start of DAOs, like even before like Ohm and stuff like that. And I hung around with some of those early DAOs, never ran my own protocol or anything like that. And I also got involved. Some people who were like working on things in the back end. I had a chance to like work with some lawyers that were like trying to draft like crypto friendly regulation and stuff like that. So I've just been hanging around, kind of in the scene for a couple years. And a little bit ago, GoldDoc and I decided that we wanted to launch our first protocol. And I'll get into that a little later, but the rest of the team can introduce themselves.
Yeah, well, real quick, do you and GoldDoc know each other personally, or how did you guys meet being the co-founders?
We do know each other personally. We are, you could say, like in real life related. So we have some of our conversations over holiday dinners and things of that nature.
Oh, nice, cool. All right,
Yep.
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
So
I'll
jump
hop
on
in.
in. GoldDoc.
Yeah, I'll hop in and say hi, everybody. My name's Doc. As Vu said, I'm fortunate enough to be one of the co-founders of GoldMint. I've been in crypto generally probably since about 2017 and into the DeFi space, for probably the past year. Prior to that, I've done a lot of investing in the precious metals space, everything from bullion to options to royalty companies. And Vu and I had actually, from a crypto standpoint, had a portfolio together. And as time went on, our thoughts about gold and our thoughts about this sort of the crypto market and where it's going led to the thought process behind GoldMint and actually PaxGR Peg, which I'm sure we'll talk more about later. But my main role within the organization is helping to guide the DAO, our war chest, which is used to support our protocol and ultimately is going to provide yield for our community members. So glad to be here and appreciate everybody in the audience.
Yeah, that was awesome. I'm Monkey, the operations guy. I've been in DeFi crypto for almost a year now. I was a regular trader for a while for before that for, I don't know, probably like 6 or 7 months. And then finally found crypto and I was like, damn, this is where I need to be. So I started, finding different things. But one of the first things that really caught my eye was Ohm, and that brought me into the whole scene and brought me down the rabbit hole of different things, and then finding Tomb and everything like that, and just been doing research since, and got a lucky opportunity meeting Vu and Doc, and been working since.
Yeah, and I'm Zeph. I'm the community manager of GoldMint, or some people cannot really nail down what I do with them. I do a lot, but it's happy to see. I'm happy to be here. Talking, seeing the great community members from ElTaco, finance. Just being chummy and very nice with our GoldMint peeps, and I can't wait to interact with you guys more.
No, we appreciate it. Now, are one
Oh,
is a
wait.
developer? You guys have the developer on here, or who's the main developer in this?
Our main developer right now is not in this chat. His
Okay,
name is
no
Mr.
problem, no problem.
His name is Mr. James. His native speaking language is not English, so we can get him in some conversations where you guys can do some messages back and forth. But for like high-paced English language back and forth, these aren't ideal.
No problem. No problem at all. Just no, we don't have to have them on. I just didn't know if any of you guys were, so wanted to at least get that.
We can also, for one of these things, if we want to, we have a couple devs. We have one who focuses mostly on UI, but is pretty competent on Web3 and can answer some of the technical questions better than, like, say, Monkey or I. We can always make him available for discussion too. And if anything comes up that we can't answer, tonight, any questions or whatever, we can always, bounce them back in the AMA questions once we get a response.
Yeah, for sure. So, I wanted to bring you guys on. I think, your protocol is obviously a little different. However, also being similar to a lot of things that we're currently involved with. EMP and Grape are part of the Centronage, protocols, which you guys currently are. kind of paired up with that Tomb Fork, but a little differently with going to precious metals. And I think it's incredibly smart to do something like this. Now, GoldMint is their main GLDM is pegged to PAXG. And can Vu or GoldDoc, I guess any one of you guys, can you guys explain to our community a little bit about what PAXG is? But because I mean, I find this absolutely fascinating with what it does. And if you guys could explain that a little bit more to the community and how kind of the peg works, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, Vu, you want me to take this one?
Take it away.
Vu knows PAX G is like my boo. So, Jesus, you said exactly right. PAX G really is, in my opinion, pretty special when you're talking about in the crypto space. So, obviously, we knew the utility of gold. We know the market cap of gold at this point is $12 trillion, right? So we know that there's money out there in gold. But in particular, when we look at what happened recently, I think with Terra and UST, is where PAX-G comes into play. PAX-G is one PAX-G will always be worth 1 ounce, 1 troy ounce of gold. Not only that is it pegged, but it's also backed. So it's actually backed by gold bars in a vault in London that are essentially claimable. And in addition, the only time new PAX-G will be minted is when there is fiat deposited that will result in that same value as 1 ounce of gold. So when we knew we wanted to be involved with gold, and when we were looking for the token that would be our peg, PAX-G, honestly, in our opinion, was perfect, because not only would it always be guaranteed to maintain that peg, but it's also actually backed by real gold, which again in crypto's market nowadays could be extremely valuable. So PAX-G has always been a part of my portfolio. It's always been a part of how I've had exposure to gold. I think Cheese has brought up a good point. It's amazing to me how many really well-schooled people in crypto don't know a lot about PAX-G. So I would encourage everybody go to the Paxos website. There's so much information there available that's it's fascinating. But that's really the 5,000-foot overview, and honestly, we couldn't be more pleased with our peg, at least in my humble opinion.
Like I said, it's something that's kind of out of the box. Now, CryptoZom was telling me, you're right, it's backed by the London Goods Services, but you could, now is this true that you could turn in your coin of PAX-G and actually have them ship you 1 gold ounce bar?
It's absolutely true. I don't know if it's for actually an ounce, right? So might need to be more than that you would actually be able to get. But yes, that's part of it, that you're able to turn in your tokens. Those tokens are then burned or destroyed, and you would receive actual physical gold bullion in return.
Yeah, which, like I said, I think is fantastic. And you're right, it is the most not the most valuable precious metal, but one of the most valuable that is out there, right now, and it also is relatively stable. Obviously, we've got a nice little gold boom over the last couple years, which is pretty good as well. So you guys have currently right now, you guys have your GLDM, which is your peg token, that's at PAXG or PAXG, and then you also have your share token SLDM right now. And if you guys, they do offer some farms, and your share token is actually with USDC. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. The share token is paired against USDC for trading on Uniswap. You'll still notice, like on our site, it's the price, I believe, also reports both with the US dollar value and a value against PAX-G for people who like comparing the share token to, to the peg price. It's a pretty familiar metric used, in some of these tomb forks and things like that. So we kind of report on both numbers, but for the actual swapping, it is paired against USDC.
Okay, and then obviously in your vaults, you've got those 2 LP coins, but you're also able to go ahead and stake your GLDM for some additional share coins if you guys want. One thing I like how you guys went ahead and kind of named, instead of taking over the boardroom, you guys named it the Mint Room, and kind of took a lot of the different gold nomenclature, and integrated that within obviously within your website, which I thought was super cool, because you got the boardroom was now the Mint Room. You guys also have the Foundry. The Foundry is the typical bond system that you guys generally see in a Tomb Fork that our community's spoken about through different AMAs with some different companies right now. Could you guys talk a little bit about what you guys call the war chest?
Yeah, let's let Doc hop in on that. That is our DAO. So we like to utilize our DAO, and Doc will tell you a couple of the special ways we're trying to do it a little different.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. And the DAO has a direct link to PAX G. So we really decided as a core group that we were going to put our DAO to work in an aggressive fashion. We also wanted to solve the problem of what happens after 24 months when emissions stop. What to the community members, our token holders, what can we have to offer? So that's really where the DAO that comes into play. So the DAO, I would say right now, has 2 primary goals, that being to support the protocol, and in particular, helping the GoldMint token maintain peg, and then number 2, increasing its holdings, or its portfolio, excuse me, to help ultimately be a source of providing yield for our community members at the end of that 24 months. So the main objective of the DAO right now has really been to acquire more PAX G, as well as acquire more of our native protocol tokens. And the hope is, and the plan, that at the end of 24 months, when the emission cycle runs out, that the DAO, our war chest, will be set up in a way that 50% of the portfolio is held in PAX G, and the other 50% of our portfolio will contain various different assets for which we can return yield. And then following that, we will be using that yield that the DAO is creating and returning it to our community members in various different ways. So, and we'll be able to provide governance over the DAO to our community members as well. And ultimately, the goal, the DAO will always make a move to always be acquiring more and more PAX G as part of its portfolio. So we feel that the DAO is really going to be the long-term stability and profitability for our community.
You guys, obviously, you've been speaking a lot about gold. It seems like you're obviously well versed. We just had quite of a run up in gold over the last couple years. Now sitting at, I believe it's close to $1,900 an ounce, maybe a little less than that. What's your overall outlook on gold here? For the next 2, 3, 5 years, even. Do you foresee that continuing the steady trend up? Or do you see some type of shortage happening to where, we may see, a nice little bump up that's kind of not as typical as, I guess the steady increase that we've currently been seeing?
Yeah, so I'll comment first, and I'm sure Cripsum and Boo want to have something to say about this as well. I think when you look at global economics at this point, and where we are with war, with inflation, really with the whole socio-political situation, gold is really set to take fire at some point, and in my opinion, make a very, very significant move. Gold has been one of those things that can be artificially held back or potentially manipulated. Silver more so, but gold's still there. But when you look at the overall economic climate of the globe, in my opinion, it is just a matter of time before gold makes a significant move to the north.
And I'm Doc, I'm glad you said that. So obviously I've been a trader for quite some time, in the stock market, and that's, obviously found my way over to crypto, but dabbled in quite a bit of precious metals. I do hold some nice silver bars, no gold ones yet, but we do. I agree with you, especially with the amount of inflation, with the stock market, obviously on the decline, wars, the uncertainty. People tend to go into the precious metals a little more than they would before, just as some type of stability. Obviously, you can't go into really the U.S. dollar anymore with that inflation, because we all know what that does to that. But I agree with you, especially with the uncertainty and with the stability of gold. I think we are on pace for definitely record levels of gold price here in short term as well as long term. And I also feel like the need for gold, there's a little piece of gold in every single smartphone right now, and who do you know that doesn't have a smartphone? So the uses of gold are continually increasing, especially as the technology increases. But I can't agree with you anymore. Then I think we're artificially being held down right now, but it's about to explode, in my opinion.
Yeah, well said. I agree for sure.
So
Yeah, I agree as well.
there's a couple different things. I guess, could you let our community, when did you guys launch your protocol? I guess we kind of skipped that. Part because I was so excited to talk about gold. But could you guys just go back to tell us kind of when you launched? It was what, about a month and a half ago or so?
Yeah, I think April 16th maybe was the start of Genesis full protocol deployment. I think April 20th, somewhere right about there. That was a tough time. Genesis pools were getting beat up pretty bad. I don't know how many of the people here like watch us, but we got crushed out of our Genesis. I mean, for setting such an ambitious goal, for a peg that's 1,800, we're not pegged 1,000 to 1, to pack sheet, we're pegged 1 to 1. And there were so many people that weren't interested in the protocol. We're just in there for Genesis. We had some tough sells at the beginning. It was a tough start doing a Genesis during that time. But then ironically, if you look at, how the overall market's been over the last month and a half, it's been terrible everywhere. And, traditional markets, the crypto, even some perceived stables, within crypto. I mean, it's just been red, blood in the water, however you want to describe it. And that our message started really appealing to people. So during this last 45 days, if you look at like an overall market chart or something on CoinMarketCap, I mean, it's like a ski slope, and we've been very fortunate not to have parabolic growth, but to have slow and steady growth, even during what's been one of the worst markets for especially launching a new token when you're fragile. But I think just because of what we did, what we chose to peg to, the way we were focused on sustainability, like Doc said, we're not just thinking about 2 years of emissions, but already planning how to, use the PAX G acquired by the DAO to continue to incentivize our farms past that 3 years, 4 years. So I think that message resonated well. And in these 45 days, we've been able to grow a lot. I can't exactly where we came out of Genesis. I don't know, but it was like $12 or something. We're somewhere around 1,000 now, so it's been pretty nice growth in a tough market.
Yeah, I was gonna say your growth, especially in your share coin, has been astronomical. When Cryptsom came to me, with the idea of first discussing you guys, we were taking a look at that, probably a couple weeks ago, and I mean, even your share token was south of 50, and since then, you're up over $110 in your share token, as well as your TVL has increased significantly during then. So you guys got obviously you're doing something right. I think you guys have done a great
Yeah.
job kind of weathering the storm. You're right, especially in a tough market where things are getting pushed down. I think you guys have done a great job, not only with the marketing side of things, but just trust in the community and trust that you guys understand this. You've got this, and your community trusts you to put their hard-earned money into into your protocol. And it shows, especially just in the last couple weeks of what you guys are actually capable of doing, which I think is a testament to the hard work that you guys have put in. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
thank you
thank them
very
all the
much.
time. They're the best community in DeFi. I mean, it is over 2 million TVL right now, I believe. And for a protocol as young as we are to have, this high of a percentage of our tokens staked in the system in a healthy way, it's just been really cool. We've been really fortunate to have such great participants.
Yeah, so I am going to ask you a tough question. But
Yeah.
I feel like
After that softball, I deserve it.
yeah. So, have you guys hit peg and or printed anything from your, from the mint room as of yet?
No, I wish we had. So we, like I said, when we came out of Genesis, right at the beginning, it would have been about 0.01 peg. And we've only been kind of slowly growing from there. So we are, I mean, at least the first alive and successful, I don't know what words to use to describe it, but substantial value protocol. Not to reach peg to this point. There's another one, Grave Finance, I think hit it at like 227. They're nice guys, but there's really not too many that I can think of that kind of took this route. And I think it had a lot to do with picking such a high price. A lot of people told me at the beginning, like, don't try to release an $1,800 token. Don't try to release an $1,800 token. I said, yeah, we're confident in it. We are confident in elastic supply. It's a shame that we haven't got to print yet, but that's how our system is set up. That if during this time of growth and, while we're reaching out to new participants and supply and demand is being balanced, the right thing to do is not to print more GoldMint, then we're fine with that and we're happy with that because we trust that this system is going to get that price in line there. I think one of the biggest flaws, and I don't want to get into this too much, but with the recent collapse of the UST, regardless of who shorted what or if there was any underhanded dealings or whatever, but they had set that system up, to work under the belief that it should always be 1.00. It would never fluctuate from that. And the truth is that we're an algo stable. We seek the price of PAX-G, but we will trade below and above. And I believe during our life, there will be times where we're substantially below and substantially above. For the record, we've already been through the substantially below and haven't got to substantially above yet. But I think we are, if you look at our charts, I think we're on the right trajectory and we're comfortable with the speed and path in which, kind of we're approaching that point.
Yeah,
If
well,
I can add real quick, sorry, if I can
ahead.
just add, Vu's exactly right, but we really believe that we're going to get to peg in a healthy manner, in a way that's healthy for the protocol and longevity. It's everybody. We understand it's a rush. Everybody wants to get the peg, but when you have a token that's worth almost $2,000, it can be very fragile, as Vu pointed out before. So it's important that as we progress there, we do it in a healthy manner that's somewhat organic, and that also whenever we get there, that we're prepared. And I think everybody here would say we all feel that way now, and we're on an excellent path to get there, and our team feels confident that we're going to be there sooner rather than later.
That was one of the things I was talking about initially with Crypsom. It's like an $1,800 peg token. I said you would think it would be a little easier to hit that peg, but I think you guys explained it extremely well. I feel like the trials and tribulations that you guys have went through has made you guys a lot stronger and a lot more focused on, the project, the protocol, the community. I think if this was something that were come out easy and you would have hit Peg since day one and Prince since day one, obviously that would have been nice, but I feel like the amount of knowledge and everything that you guys have built up in a community and built up just between your guys selves on how to handle these types of situations is going to make you guys stronger for that long run. And, I actually, the more and more that I thought about it and I was talking to Leonidas, our community manager, about it, we like the idea that, obviously things weren't easy. And that's what I like best about, some of these communities and some of these founders is when things come easy, sometimes people get lazy. And basically it's been the total opposite for you guys. But you're close. You're relatively close to being to Peg. I think you're at what 0.6, so you're about a little more than halfway there. Maybe just a little under over the last day or so. But I think you guys have made great progress so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the way you said it. When things come easy, people get lazy, and I think, like you said, we were hit with the opposite. When things are difficult, you're forced to innovate. What do they say? Like necessity is the mother of invention, or something like that. So it really did, I think, push us to innovate. I don't know how much your community knows, but we've been working on a lot of stuff on the back end. We have synthetic nodes coming out. I believe on the 10th of June, and just over a week here, which is going to be another way for people to participate in the system. And they're set up like some nodes you guys might be familiar with. I know you guys are partners or good friends with Grape. We have a ton of respect for those guys. I've been lucky enough to talk to their team a little bit as we got started and get some guidance from them. But we have something like that coming out that we've been working on the back end, and we've been looking at also doing some NFTs, maybe eventually by ourselves on Ethereum. But one thing we like, and one of the things that caught our attention about you guys, ElTaco, was just how many cool. I had spotted a gold taco somewhere along the lines. I was like, this is cool as shit. So we really have started talking about not just focusing on how we can do some type of NFTs eventually, but how we can start to have, being on Ethereum. There's definitely some big NFT project on OpenSea, but a lot of our DeFi friends in the community are on other networks, but they're other EVM networks. So we see like a really good opportunity for us to just be open, having partnerships with people who aren't on the same chain, as long as it's, like you guys, somebody who's on AVAX, and seeing if there's a way that we could do some collabs, or we tie some GoldMint aspects into one of your series or a limited number of NFTs, and then we find a way to chip some rewards into them, just like you guys do some airdrop rewards and look for some ways to put some stables in them. We'd like to find ways to do that with our friends' NFTs, say like some tacos or something like that. So we think there could be room to do some cool things together, even though we're not on the same network. There's a couple other little things in the works too, but those are two things that I'm particularly excited about. And then we can discuss, do I still got you guys? We can discuss other alpha
Yeah.
coming up here soon. Cripson, is that you?
Yeah, I was just
100%.
saying, yeah, I'm here. Yep.
Yeah, we got
Okay. Yeah, we can go a little bit, we can go a little further. We do have an initiative coming up to try to see if we can kind of reissue some of the bond tokens that the DAO has acquired over time, and see if we can find a way to get some things back on the market. I don't know if you guys are aware, but the Foundry will only print 35 to like 40% of the total number of tokens issued in bond tokens to keep the just to keep the debt healthy that the protocol holds. So we have some of those, and we have a lot of healthy things you can do with bond tokens in our ecosystem. We don't just focus on the peg. We don't just focus on those share tokens and the rewards and the emissions, but we like focusing on the bond and burn mechanisms too. So we have in our farms page, you had mentioned we have the GLDM single staking, which is really nice for folks who just want to, see some growth while holding that and not being exposed to LP. But we also have BGLDM staking. So we reward our bond token, and we're working our way there. But in our ecosystem, they're utilizable right away on the farms page for some additional rewards. And then they're also going to be able to be deposited as for a node, just the same way GLDM is deposited. And that lets you kind of exchange it for outsized rewards right now. So I think, I'm not positive, but I believe we're the first protocol, to put paths to redemption before hitting peg for the bond token. So we're making sure to take care of those guys too.
Yeah, one of the things we've always wanted to do is take care of the bond holders because I don't know, I've seen it's always been a problem in seniority protocols. So we're going to work as hard as we can to bring more and more to the bond system and how we can increase the protocol health and strength and provide more utility to our
focusing on the peg, choosing the PAX G, focusing on the shares and the reward tokens, and getting a system set up that's sustainable so that this isn't just a 1-year protocol or a 2-year protocol. It shocks me sometimes, some of these other bigger protocols approaching the end of emissions or just past the end of emissions, being like, what do we do now? You should be planning for that, at day one. And then also what we do with the bond and the burn. And we're hoping by focusing on each aspect of an algo stable or seigniorage protocol and improving each one of them, we're going to have, a product that truly sticks, and something that's really valuable for our participants.
Yeah, and one thing that you said within there is 2 years is, like another thing that we're different, makes us different than anybody else is that we have 2 years of emissions. We have a long time to continue to build and add on and, make our tokens have value after emissions because truly no protocol has a plan or set I don't know, nobody has a set plan for bringing real utility and value to your tokens after emissions end because you can't stake them or do anything unless you create an L2 or create a new protocol where you can stake the old tokens or something, but you're just recycling at that point. So it's finding a way to bring real utility in the same ecosystem and continue to do that for longer than what emissions are. Every other protocol is usually a year. I've seen some at 1 month, but ours is going to be 2 years.
Yeah, I like that because and I do have to apologize. My internet went down for like 4 minutes. I tried to jump onto my phone, but
I thought I didn't know if I lost me, but I might have lost you for a second there. But yeah, we just kept rolling.
Oh, I know. Yeah, no, you guys are doing great. But that's one thing that kind of irks me a little bit about these Tomb Forks is you have these great communities and you have these emissions set for 1 year, and yeah, they kind of have a plan, but they don't really know exactly what it is, but they're still kind of working on it. But the time and effort that like the investors spend on these protocols to only have these emissions go for 1 year. So I love the fact that you guys are doing 2 years. I think that's a great idea as long as you can control, obviously, the liquidity part of things. I think it's a great idea. But I also love the fact that you guys are continuing. Well, at least you're already thinking about, 2 years ahead of time. What are we going to do? Here is a basic plan. This is, the roadmap to get there. Now, how are we going to do that? And I think that's extremely important, especially, again, as I mentioned, the hardest thing to get in the DeFi space is trust. Trust within your community and trust that, you have the best interests at heart for your community. And I think by showing those types of things, I think you guys are earning that on a day-by-day basis. But Vu, I know that you had slowly, or as I was going in and out between my computer and my phone and then back to my computer, You did touch base on the nodes coming out on the 10th. Can you go into a little bit about how these are working? Because it's going to be a little different than, typically how we see, the EMP nodes or the great finance nodes. They're going to be a lot less time frame, but, just as good of an
These
APR,
are a
but
little.
just on a smaller side of things. So I just want to see if you could, let everybody know how they can get involved in the nodes, what the APR is, the day time, or the day length of how long they go, and I know that you also have to have a whitelist in order to participate. So, I guess just overall, kind of the background on the nodes, please.
Yeah, I'd love to. So just a quick overview of our nodes, and they are going to be a little bit different. You'll see that everything we do is a little bit different. And sometimes what it comes down to is being just a tiny bit less APR than someone else can offer, but it's always with the goal of sustainability, and longevity. So that's the reason, with the 2-year share emissions, that means that some of our share reward pools might be slightly less than somebody who did 1-year emissions, just talking token per token, ignoring the dollar values. Some of ours, are a little bit higher there. But when you slow these things down, it can go a lot better. So what we decided to do was turn down the percentage, but kind of make it happen a little bit quicker. So our nodes are set up so you can participate with either GoldMint or Bond GoldMint. There's going to be 1,000 GoldMint nodes available and 500 Bond GoldMint nodes available. You need a whitelist spot to participate in the nodes. Having a whitelist spot allows you to get a node, but it doesn't guarantee you one. So once you have a whitelist spot, you can buy as many as you want. I mean, I'm sure we have some participants that probably have, 10, 20, 40, 50 tokens that they might be looking to put into the node. So you definitely want to get in on that whitelist. And once you do that, what that does is it opens up a discount on the first round of nodes. They're going to be 1 GoldMint a piece in the future. But right now, the first round is going to go for 0.8 GoldMint. So it lets you get in at a little bit lower of a cost to entry. If you do look at some of our prices, even right now, trading around 1,000, 0.8 is about $800. Whereas in the future, if we're at peg, when some additional nodes come out, you could very well be looking at a $2,000 entry point. So it does let you come in with a discount and come in early, and you are guaranteed access to all future rounds of nodes. Now, ours give a maximum ROI of 144% approximately. More specifically, 1.6% daily for 90 days. So our nodes, as long as you stay in the system for the full 90 days, you're going to get 1.6 daily on your GoldMint deposits. Meaning if you come in with 0.8, you're going to leave with, well over one whole one, maybe 1.15, something in that range. And that's going to come over 90 days. Now, for people who claim early or want to withdraw, don't commit to the full staking, there are some taxes, that can reduce that slightly. But to anyone who can commit to our protocol for the full 90 days, they're going to have the ability to get really nice ROI on their GoldMint. And that's just, again, talking token for token. We still are looking at an entry price of somewhere around, $800 value right now. And then if you're holding, 1.1 or 1.2 GoldMint at peg at the end there, you can see, that actually could turn into, if you're concerned with US dollars as opposed to number of tokens, up to maybe a 300% ROI if timed correctly.
Yeah, especially.
Another thing-
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry,
Or Monkey.
I just want to touch up a little bit on the nodes there. Just say that for right now we have it pretty set that there's only 2 available nodes you can use: Bonds and GoldMint, the peg token. But we are working on immediately upgrading the nodes, finding more utility, and bringing more to that as soon as we release more, because they're limited. You can only buy finite, or they're only releasing a finite amount, 1,500. But by the time I'd say 100% ROI is achieved on those nodes, we will have new nodes available essentially to compound your rewards into, so that you can immediately start getting more nodes. And something that might come with that is tiers, having different tiers of nodes. So like different levels of entry with different ROI. But more to come down the line on that, as well as potentially LP nodes, stake or locking liquidity and earning liquidity or just earning GoldMint back. But definitely we'll see that probably within the next 2 months or less.
Possibly share GoldMint nodes even earlier.
Oh,
So yeah, we'll be adding to the nodes, but as they stand right now, it's a pretty nice setup. We do have a plan. I could go into more details, but we did take some time to break down how those nodes can be supported, and it looks like our system is going to be well equipped. We might do some things with NFTs in the future. We may contribute a small percentage of our boardroom prints when we're overpegged to filling a little bit extra into that pool. We're also looking at using our DAO. Remember, just like Doc said at the beginning, that over these 2 years, it's going to be doing various things to support the protocol. So we might be using the holdings of the DAO a little bit to supplement that program. So we can't use words like guarantee or anything like that, but we have a well thought out system that is going to aggressively work to make sure that 1.6 daily is available, there consistently. We do not see our nodes fluctuating with the ROI as much as you might be used to with some other people. It's going to be set up to be slow and stable.
Yeah, and another thing, that I like, about the 90 days is, and I hate to, keep going back to other protocols, but they give up to 500%, but they're only giving up, 1.5% a day or something along those lines. And if you think about it, that's essentially almost a year being in a node, to where, you guys have a shorter time span, people tend to, kind of move on and forget about the older projects a little bit. But like I said, I really like the 90-day aspect of things. I think it's easier to manage, especially, from an investor standpoint. And I feel like it's an easier way to go about it, to remember it. It's 90 days. This is going to be, essentially what you're going to get in return. And especially if you think of where the price of gold is at least myself, Doc, and you, Vu, think where it's going to be, you're right. It could be substantially higher rewards than that 144%. So yeah, I think the nodes is a great idea. And I think kind of tying them in also to the whitelist, where it's almost kind of like a VIP feature, is also a fantastic idea as well. So I think you guys have done a good job with moving through that, and I guess moving through the maze of different things. So that's good. We do have a couple good questions in the AMA questions that I'd like to get to, if that'd be okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually wanted to do something real quick because I noticed something here. One of the first people I noticed, Jorge. I want to give Jorge a whitelist spot for asking some questions for us. So congratulations to Jorge K. You can open up a ticket in our server there and send me your address, and we'll whitelist you for future upcoming fun stuff. And I just wanted to touch up and say that the whitelist will be more than just for node access. There's going to be like more utility and fun stuff behind that. And yeah.
Nice. Well, congratulations, Jorge. Hopefully that'll get some other people here asking some questions.
Yeah.
But can you guys explain, one of Jorge's questions is, how did that TVL of the protocol go up so significantly? And also, how was the loyalty built into your community, and did they increase their exposure? Or have you guys been seeing a lot of newer organic growth, or has it been a little bit of a mix?
It's a little bit of a mix, but we are still a small community. So when you do put out at this price point, and it's okay, but we did find that there are some really cool potential participants that are just like, I always tell people not to invest more than they can afford to lose, to only use, discretionary income and stuff like that. So we do find sometimes that there's folks that will be interested eventually, but it's just a little bit too much of a price point. So it's been slow growth. You're finding people who are comfortable making a big commitment to you, and that's why we try to set these things up to make a big commitment in return. We think, for example, with the nodes, like you said, I think someone offering, in DeFi with as fast as everything moves, someone coming in here in the next week or two and say they're committed to me for 90 days, like that means a lot. And we want to kind of reward back for the people who do that.
Yeah, Gaza Greg is asking, is there a daily APR for the single staking of your bond GLDM yet? He can't seem to locate a specific APR. My guess would be that it's obviously constantly changing based on where PEG is.
No, it actually, it does vary a little bit based on the number of participants in the pool. Off the top of my head, I can't remember exactly what it's at right now, probably somewhere around 1% daily, a little more, a little less. But we are, so we use Morales nodes for reporting our data, and we're actually having some data reporting issues right now, right before this AMA. I actually should check to see if I have any other emails. I sent them a couple emails, kind of angry. But yes, there are a couple pieces of data that aren't reporting properly on our site right now. You can still pull up like the prices on DEX Screener and stuff. But actually, as soon as I hop off with you guys, I'm going to go back to that. Not an interesting topic, but just fighting the UI and keeping that working is always, there's always unexpected headaches. It sounds easier than it is. There's always something.
Yeah, do you
If
guys,
I can add real quick, sorry to interrupt, just to add on to what Vu said and what Gaza Greg was asking about, and maybe a little bit of alpha here too. So if any of you have been interacted on our side with our communities, you've seen that it's hard to get bonds right now. We've had some really, with our investor community, some generous donation of bonds to our DAO. And we have something what we consider pretty unique and special set up to make bonds available to those out there who want them to be able to participate, and ultimately to be able to get those and participate in the nodes program as well. So I would say, keep your eyes out, because we have something pretty good deal out there for those who are paying attention and if they want to participate.
Yeah,
Sure.
we're
Yeah, that
looking
is
to
a good
add
question.
we're looking to add some new ways for, I guess, acquiring bonds essentially. But that's what I'll
Should
mostly
be
say.
out by the time there's nodes.
Yeah.
By the what was it saying? June 10th. Something tells me that by the time we're looking at nodes, right around that same time, there will be a new opportunity to get some bond GoldMint for people who missed out on the first opportunity. So probably about a week or so there, give or take.
Awesome. Good. Well, all right. And then Gaza Greg also asked something that I've been itching to ask, but of course I didn't want to ask it too early. Are you guys, or would you guys possibly peg yourself to another precious metal, let's say maybe a silver mint, and if so, or even a platinum mint? If so, would you guys try and integrate that in with the current project, or would you guys more or less use that as a secondary and or tertiary project here moving forward?
I think you guys can probably guess our answer to that.
It's hell yeah.
So I don't know if Silvermint's supposed to be alpha, but we're definitely thinking about doing something like that down the road. This is our first protocol, and we are ironing out the kinks and learning as we grow. GoldMint's been going really well. We do see a way to do that later. I can't remember what words I'm allowed to use. We are looking at integrating Chainlink, which is, as everyone knows, a really cool data feed service on Ethereum, and it works with some other networks too. I think Grape on AVAX actually uses Chainlink, possibly Magic as well. So Chainlink has price feeds for other, metals and just some different types of things. So we are considering, a future expansion where we could integrate Chainlink and could have some different pegs where we could be pegged to something that doesn't have a token. Remember, right now we're pegged to PaxG, which exists. It's a token that's a perfect mirror for gold. But we aren't going to have that token with every other thing that we can think of as we grow this thing out. So we would probably look at a strong existing service, like that, and try to use that to build something out. And I think that would be something we would like to do, but it would never be separate. If there's a silver mint, you know what the DAO's going to be? It's going to be the same war chest. It's never going to be separate. This will always be part of the GoldMint ecosystem. And whether this goes to a future where there's a whole series of tokens and we're on a whole series of networks and things like that, it's always going to be centered around this same DAO and this same community.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you said that. Kind of another question I would have is, obviously you guys are on Ethereum right now. What was the main reason for going in Ethereum with obviously quite a bit of negatives, especially when it comes to gas rates during certain times, obviously being a little high. And I liked what you kind of said with, hey, maybe we can be on a different chain, either FTM or AVAX, maybe if you go to a silver mint to where maybe the gases are a little more manageable. But why and how did you guys pick the Ethereum network to jump on?
So there's a couple of reasons. There's one big reason which I'll touch up on last, but one of the couple small reasons were like how you're saying the gas fees are expensive and everything. Yes, and that's one of the reasons why we chose Ethereum, is because we know that it diminishes swing traders and people on these L2s that just swing trade and try to make their 10x's and they move on to the next and yada yada yada. It really has helped get rid of that. We've had a lot more healthy participation and people that are, they realize like, oh, this is Ethereum. Sometimes gas gets crazy and I'm, trying to make good trades and hold these tokens and stuff like that. Another thing is that it helps with bots. We have not had any issues with bots. There's not been anything, and it's 10 times less likely that we will have issues with bots, especially sandwich bots. That is one thing that I noticed when I was helping out another protocol way before this, is that there was a huge issue with sandwich bots. Everybody that was buying, if they didn't have like 0.1 slippage or at least one or less slip, they would get sandwiched hard, and it was super sad to see because like you just can't do anything about it. You're buying in at a terrible price at that point and you just get wrecked. So being on Ethereum has totally helped us in that case. We don't see that at all. We don't really see swing traders, and the main reason as well is that PaxG is on Ethereum solely. That is why. One of the main reasons, because we need PaxG, baby. That's what we're all about.
Start here. We can do a lot, but this was the starting point. And I'm also very bullish on Ethereum, but I think Monkey hit the nail on the head there. That was a really good way to say it. But I also personally am a huge Ethereum.
Yes. And honestly, the fees haven't been too bad. We've been timing our things well, and we've been promoting our participants to time your trades well, and don't use the Ethereum machine when it's crazy gas, or like don't FOMO and stuff like that, because you're just losing money. Ethereum will just eat your gas and eat your Ethereum away. But if you're, if you're making trades at the right times when Gwei has like been below 20, which has been pretty constant, we found it's been a lot of the times, if you're smart, you wait for certain times. It's like really easy. You're making swaps for a couple dollars, and it almost seems like it's like, oh, it's just a congested AVAX day, but it's just like a super cheap Ethereum. So
I loved how it seems, and I keep going back to this, a lot of even like the smaller intricate details is you guys have really thought about, the bot thing. That's not something that, a whole lot of people would think about. But you guys have thought about that, worked through that. Obviously, probably the main reason is the XG is on Ethereum, but it also has quite a bit of different secondary and different ways that why you guys are on Ethereum and how that's helped the protocol, because you're right. I mean, the swing traders and the bots could have absolutely wrecked this, from the start. So,
100%.
yeah, no,
There's
that's awesome.
actually one other thing about Ethereum too is it's the home of the whales. It is like, there's Ohm, there's all these other huge protocols that all live on Ethereum, and that's where a lot of the big money is. A lot of the big players are all on Ethereum, and being able to use that to our advantage to, partner with some of these bigger people or do anything. It can bring eyes to us, and might bring more attention and a lot of bigger capital compared to these other chains that don't have as much TVL and stuff, and they don't have as much money as Ethereum actually has on it. But anyway,
Yeah, so getting back to a couple of the questions here. Sigil, sorry if I'm totally botching that one. Money sign. When will more BGLDM be available per purchase? And then you guys had also mentioned on a previous AMA that over 200 of that was burned. Could you go into how it was burned and when or if some additional bonds will be available? I know you guys had already spoken about you didn't want to get too far into debt, but if you could just quickly touch base on that.
yeah, that was
Yes, Bond kind of did, but it might have slipped through the mix. So we are going to try to have our cake and eat it here too. So some of both Doc and the DAO itself, through its participation, was able to acquire. It already holds like 200 or 250. So this might be the number that we're thinking here. It holds 250 GoldMint bonds right now. So it allowed 250 GoldMint to be burned to get those bonds. So we have them in the possession of the DAO. So the DAO may be able to make those available to the community via some sort of like vested bonding program where you could deposit tokens we needed, something like PaxG or something like that, and then get those bond tokens maybe at a discount. And there's people doing things like that on Ethereum. You could then be able to acquire that bond GoldMint to either participate in nodes or participate in our farms, or hold them and wait, until we're ever pegged to redeem, or do all three. So we are going to be opening it up in that fashion. I don't have an exact date, but I would say this is not in the distant future. This is within the next 1 to 2 weeks. But we will not be printing more to make them available. We bought them ourselves, and we're going to get them out to you guys.
and
Yes, that's a really important thing what Vu said there, just so everybody understands. There's nothing being recycled, there's nothing being used. The bonds that the DAO has in their possession now are debt free, and because of our strong investor support and community, we were able to make those arrangements. So, we're we're working on ways to make those available to our community as well. And quickly, sort of like Boost said, and probably at a discount too.
To get them out
and
to you guys.
another thing I just wanted to say, because it was actually oh, that was loud. Another he actually in the question said 200s GoldMint, so share tokens were burned. So we've actually done like quite a bit of burning. We've burned like 200 bonds, we've burned 200 shares. I think we've burned some GoldMint as well. That's all.
500 gold
Yeah, so that's all been done
since
through.
launch in 45 days.
Yeah, it was right away, right after launch. We did do like a massive burn of GoldMint to help reduce the supply and everything. And that was all done through the DAO, Doc. He has done that. And I don't know if you're asking specifically how do you burn the tokens, we used the local Ethereum burn address, which would just be OXO000 dead. And that's how you burn tokens on Ethereum. And so, yeah, we've done a lot of burns, and there's probably going to be more buybacks and burns as well coming to help support the prices and diminish the supply and stuff with the share and everything.
Yeah, no, super interesting. Anybody in the community or out there in the audience want to jump up stage and possibly ask a question? Generally, like I said, like to keep these going for about an hour or so. But I think this project is incredibly interesting, and I'm glad that we're going a little
Yeah, I got
over. I
time.
think the questions have been
Thanks,
great.
Vigil. I thought it was super cool when Doc said that too. He's like, I want to burn some share tokens. I was like, you don't have to do that. Nobody burns share tokens. He's like, I'm going to do it. He's like, think about it. It'll help support that token too. Why does everyone just support the peg? And I'm like, I love this guy. So yeah, thanks. I'm glad you thought it was cool. I thought it was cool too.
Thanks for saying that. I appreciate it.
Anybody?
So yeah, just so you guys know too. Sorry, real quick, but when we talk about the bonds, how we have special things planned with those too. Same thing with the share tokens. The DAO has a really fat stack of share tokens, for lack of a better term, and we plan on using those in a way to not only support the protocol and the DAO further, but also reward the community. Right. So if share tokens are your thing and that's your boo, we're going to have that ready for you probably pretty soon as well.
Yeah, no, that sounds great.
Yeah, definitely.
I think.
No, keep going.
Go ahead. Go on, Monk.
No, sorry. You're good. You're good.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say we're gonna have some lots of cool stuff to bring to the share token utility and everything. So there'll be cool things coming in. Lots of rewards and stuff.
Now, is there any type of alpha that you guys may have that you kind of haven't leaked out so far that maybe you guys are kind of working on that you may want to share?
Ooh.
That's probably it. That us redropping that. I don't think that's been said anywhere. That we're going to redrop in the range of 250 bond GoldMint tokens to be available for our community to purchase at a discount through some sort of bonding as a service program on Ethereum. And that's going to be coming in the very near future. I don't believe that's actually been said anywhere else before. So
No.
it is pretty cool. You guys are learning
yeah.
about the first access to the next set of bonds.
Just so you guys know, that's Vu's way of gently scolding me. Like, Doc, you don't got to get that aggressive.
I love it.
But yeah, so that's some cool alpha. Even if the further you can read between the lines, I think there's going to be some really cool stuff coming up, some big partnerships too, and it's going to be an exciting next couple of weeks here with what we're doing with working on the bond, what we're doing with the nodes, and as you guys can tell, we're going to be continuing to work on the peg and the share tokens as well, and that should make a pretty robust system for our participants.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm definitely excited, like I said, about your project. We do have, we are recording this. I did have, a handful of members of the taco community that couldn't be here tonight. So they had, asked me to go ahead and record this, which we record them every single time. But, we do put this up to a vote. I would love for you guys, for us to collaboratively work together here in the future. Ultimately, it's going to be up to the community as well. But I really appreciate your guys' time tonight on jumping on. Definitely want to say thank you guys for taking that time. Cripson for hooking us up. I think you guys are doing an absolute fantastic job so far. Like I said, it hasn't been easy, but I feel like that's made everybody stronger, especially the community. And I can't wait to continue to see how this goes. And I hope that here in the future that, we could potentially come together and see what we can collaboratively do that obviously benefits both protocols. And somebody who just walked in, Mr. Fiziel, is the sole owner of the fully GoldMint. Not GoldMint, ElTaco. So
the GoldTaco.
if he wants to feel a little generous, maybe you guys can harass him afterwards and see what he's doing. But I think that full gold taco would look pretty sweet over there in your DAO as well.
Yeah, we might have to make a OTC deal or something like that. Might see us in the DMs.
Busy, keep them open, buddy.
I was buying.
I just wanted to say thanks to all the people asking questions. I wanted to give out another reward here. Greg we're gonna give you, since I think you're already on the whitelist spot, we're gonna give you whitelist spot and 0.2 bond GoldMint, and as well as Jorge, if you're still here, I forgot to say that we're also gonna give you 0.2 bond GoldMint as well, to give you a little boost to help you maybe participate in the node program, as well as, let's see if I have this. If you look in the discussion channel, people are in here. There's a little gift in there for anybody that claims that, and yeah.
Damn, that's sweet. You didn't see. I've been seeing this one guy ask a bunch of questions. His name's Cheesus as well. I don't know if you see him on the.
Yeah, interesting.
On the
I don't know.
I just got. I'm just screwing with you guys. Yes. So no, definitely appreciate it. Like I said, we'll obviously keep open communication here. Anything obviously we can do to continue to help. Anything that you guys have coming out, I think our community is going to be extremely interested, in this here moving forward. And yeah, I just really appreciate it. You guys are a cool bunch of guys, got your head on your shoulders, right? And absolutely love the work you guys have been doing. So thank you very much.
Thank you, man. Thank you for being an awesome host. This was a great AMA. This was an awesome introduction to the ElTaco community. We are definitely down with doing some things with collabs, and I'd love to keep the conversation rolling.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Jesus. This was a good AMA. I had a smile on my face, so thank you.
Not a problem, guys. Well, hopefully it also made you guys a little hungry as well by looking at all the tacos out there in the chat. Oh, look what Fizzy just did for you guys down there in his little picture. Kind of, I believe he's taunting you guys just a little bit.
Flexing on us. He is flexing.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
I love gold NFTs. Like, if you want to bait me, just like drop like shiny golden NFTs around me. Oh, I have to have this.
All right.
I'm easy.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of the king of OTC stuff. I might have to pick that one up from Fizzy before anybody else does. I go a little bit back with Fizzy. So, Fizzy, if you're listening to Cryptome, hey, man.
Hey, yeah, Fizzy's coming on to speak.
What's up, Fizzy?
Hey, no, I'd be happy to make an OTC deal with you.
Turn it off mute, bro.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
I am
on,
mute.
It's on, dude.
Oh, shit. Does my audio
I can hear him.
Oh,
I can hear you.
Oh, I'm
yeah, Fizzy. PFP.
Yeah, no, I'd be happy to make an OTC deal.
Sweet.
To get me into the GoldMint one way or another. I've been resist as appeals just because of the gas. I'm, but you guys don't.
You know what?
Who's
if we can
offering?
make a
I'll
deal
certainly offer right now.
If you time it well, it can be a little tough, but we're trying to make it worth it for everybody. I mean, I had people who said they weren't, who's still in our chat complain. They're like, oh, I was going to buy more GoldMint right after launch. There was that open sea launch and like gas was crazy. And I forget what GoldMint was that night, $20 or something. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, like I didn't want to spend an extra $100 in Ethereum to buy like 10 GoldMint at $20 a piece. So in the end, hopefully, if the timing works out and fees don't get too crazy, it'll be nice for everyone. But it sounds like you're probably going to find a way to get in. No Ethereum gas required.
Yeah, Fizzy, I'm putting in my Cryptome's my dude. I love him. But I'm gonna put in my bid for the DAO. So I want to be involved in this bidding here, please.
Come on, Doc. You can't do that.
All right, do I hear three?
It's gonna be live
flexing,
auction.
Doc.
I love it.
That's right.
I'm not gonna fleece you guys. I'll make I got it for 5 AVAX, which was, maybe 150 or 125 bucks at the time or something.
Listen, in all honesty, and I think I speak for our group here, like we will gladly overpay you for what you paid for with our protocol tokens. We really want to get more people involved in our community, and you said that you wanted to be involved. This is really could be an awesome way to do it. So I think it's super cool.
More stuff in the future like this too with
100%.
Doc, what's your offer, Doc?
Oh, look at this. He's putting me on the spot here, right?
Hey man, I'm almost at a GLDM, so
Yeah, so I'll 100% put at least one BGLDM here right now. If I need
Cool.
to increase my offer, no problem.
Well, I tell you
Yeah.
what, I would just because I want it to go to the Dow. If you like, I'm gonna do this one time because I know how rare these are, but I will actually send you one GLDM if Doc wants to send one BGLDM. I'll match it.
Let's get him in the system. Let's get him in.
And that's coming. And that's coming from my stash, not the Dow's. So I'm in. Cripsum, I appreciate you, man.
$2,000
Of course,
taco.
man.
There you go, boy. Let's not make it the
$2,000
last
taco.
one.
That's awesome.
All right.
That's awesome, Doc.
You guys are
We're gonna
sure.
set,
Like,
we're
yeah.
gonna set the market right now. And trust me, when the Dow gets that thing, it ain't going anywhere.
Perfect.
All right. Yeah, you got a
Yeah.
deal.
Perfect.
Except I don't have the NFT yet until the mint. So,
Well,
I'm not sure how that works.
No, this is how I like to get into arrangements ahead of time. It's perfect, so we know
That's
nothing gets minted where it's going.
So we'll have to work it out through Jesus and the guys. But
Yeah,
yeah, you got yourself
absolutely.
a
Well,
deal.
hey, I want to say we're just a little over a week away from phase 3. So you guys do have some time to still talk about it, and then when we come down to that time, we'll jump in a little chat and we'll see what we want to do. But he does have the picture right now and full rights to that mint. So like I said, I'm guessing just a little over 1 week away. We're just waiting for our artist to finish up some custom tacos that he's currently working on, and as soon as he does that, we're ready to rock and roll on phase 3, and we'll be able to mint it, and away we go.
Cool.
Awesome.
Let us know
Great.
if we can do anything
Sounds
else.
good.
Or sneak any
Yeah.
more rewards with that phase, or anything we can do to keep having some fun with you guys.
Awesome.
Yep, definitely.
All right, guys. Well, hey, definitely appreciate everything you guys have done coming on here and being extremely entertaining. I absolutely love it. So we'll continue to be in touch, and anything you guys have coming out, please feel free to drop it either by me or just in the general chat. Feel free to even throw down your Discord link over there. I don't have any problems with that. And like I said, you should start seeing some extra tacos pop up over in your chat after they're able to listen to this AMA. So thank you guys again. I hope you have a good rest of the week. We'll be in touch, and take care, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
Sounds
you.
good. Thanks again, Jesus. Thanks again, guys.
Take
Yeah,
care.
Appreciate
thank you.
it.
That was awesome.
Take care.
Yeah.
Take care.
See ya.